6,000 clicks one day, and so every day is going to be a little bit different, but if you study it long enough, it starts to follow in this nice clean line. So he's able to make these buys with a high degree of confidence over and over and over again. Heck, he might even break even and be okay here. He might even lose a little money in the front end because he's building a massive list of people who've bought from him. So that's the kind of, I'm massively digressing on cost per time because we've got a lot of things to cover here, but that's the general math. Now, again, this is a pretty high level of marketing here, but the point is, if you're an affiliate, you could do something very similar. If you're a product owner, I would take the best of what you see out there. MSN, this guy is very, very good at what he does, and heck, copy him. Listen to word for word what he's saying, and figure out all the intelligence that exists in this landing page and use it for yourself, okay? So that's pretty cool. Okay, wow, we're only on cost per click, okay? Cost per action, okay? This relates more to you as an advertiser who relate to affiliate networks on a cost per action basis, but it's interchangeable between advertiser and publisher. You might actually be a publisher that does things on a CPA basis. You as an affiliate, where you'll use it the most is you'll want to know what the CPA is. And CPA is what the advertiser is willing to pay you for an action. And as an advertiser, you get to define what that action is. So an action could be a lead. It could be a 5-field form that somebody submits that you're willing to pay for $2 for, $5, or it could be an actual sale. Okay. So as an example, if you go back to our affiliate network example here, we clicked on an offer that was doing that was paying out. I think it was $1.20 or something. No. You get to see where I live. Saj doesn't like to know. He doesn't like to know where you live, right? It's a secret. You can know where I live. It's okay. I'm in California. But as an example, these have associated payouts with them. So some of them are lead-based, right? Cost per action is $2 or $1. For a lot of these email submit offers or zip code submit offers, as we looked at, the pricing is very, very low. They're willing to pay a lot less for that type of lead, $1.40, $1.20. These are branded sites. Whereas on a sale offer, the cost per action might be very, very high. A good young friend of mine made a lot of money promoting poker sites, because poker and gambling sites back several years ago were paying $500 per customer. Whoa. Crazy, right? Because the value of those customers, those guys played every day and so the good advertisers are guys that have figured out what the lifetime value of that user is, so they know with a high degree of confidence that user is going to come back and play over and over and over again, and so they can go and say, look, I'll pay you $500 if you can help me get that customer. So CPAs really range. Again, I'm not enamored with a number. Some of the best offers I've had, I've converted at really, really high at 60 cents. Some of the worst offers are $500. So don't get caught up in the numbers part of it per se. Cost per lead, we just spoke about that, so you guys have a sense of what that is, but it's advertisers that want to enable actions on a lead basis, okay? So we just kind of covered that as well, but an affiliate might say, what's the CPL on that? What's the cost per lead? Really what they're saying here, and this is again where the terminology is used kind of interchangeably, but what you want to know is how much am I being paid? You could almost call it RPL or RPA. What's my revenue per action, okay? So the CPL part of it, that's where it's used technically incorrectly if you're an affiliate, but nonetheless, people understand what you mean. What's the CPA on that? What's the CPL on that? Okay. Click-through rate. All right. Click-through rate is an important element of. Now here we're getting into the conversion piece of it. I should make this statement that the first elements that I just showed with you, there's 4 elements of cost, right? CPM, CPC, CPA, and CPT, cost per time. But heck, there might be even 10 more beneath that. I'll pay you when this happens. But that's now we're getting into the conversion piece. Now you want to have a unit of measurement that helps you understand who is clicking on your ad and what's the percentage of that happening. So click-through rate is basically a measurement of the percentage of time somebody clicks on your ad. Very basic. It's defined quite simply as clicks over impressions. So I know that if I got a piece of inventory running, ad inventory, did 1,000 impressions, and I got 50 clicks, my click-through rate is 0.5%, okay? That would be very, very good, actually, is a 0.5% click-through rate. Now, I'll give you some, just some history here. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, and as people have become accustomed to banner advertising, the click-through rates have dropped very, very low. But still, nonetheless, so have the prices, so it evens itself out. But when I was doing this back in 2001, my click-through rates were 2%, 3%. Which is crazy, which is like just the dream of any direct marketer. And that's, again, you're failing 98% of the time, which is still amazing. I mean, think about it. You got 100 people that saw that ad, 98 out of 100 said, screw you, I don't want to do this. But those 2 people, okay, a 2% click-through rate will make you millions and millions of dollars. So I've seen this curve, right? So the huge click-through rates back in the day went down, and now what we're seeing is an upswing in click-through rates, okay? And why is that? Well, Facebook's doing it. Facebook is making advertising so good because you've offered up so much of information about yourself that the ads are super relevant to you. And that's why many people are in love with Facebook, think it's a $30 billion idea, because we as consumers have told people about ourselves, and as a result, the advertising is getting very, very good. Now you're starting to see click-through rates go up again. So again, I don't care if it's a 2% click-through or 0.5% click-through or 0.001. I do at some point, but the important thing is when you tie it all together in a big line and look at how much money you've made, that's the important element of it. So that's click-through rate. Now, this might be unique to me, and so if you start like, you're at ad tech and you tell them, hey, what's your VTU, bro? They'll be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This might be more, but here's what it is. It's a unit of measurement of how many visitors, when they come to your page, you're converting into some relationship, okay? Either as a user or a sale, okay? So you want to know that. You want to understand, if you have 100 people coming to you, what percentage of the time are you converting those into a paying customer or some lead? So, for example, I was talking to a woman at the break, and so we were talking about this concept, right, of visitor to user. But if you have 1,000 impressions, right, which is 1 CPM, and say that, just for argument's sake, you got 1% click-through rate, okay, which would be amazing. Oh, is it blue? Okay, I'm sorry. Did I take the blue? Okay. So you had 1 CPM, and we can kind of do this math together. You had 1%. So that meant you got 10 people, right? 10 people that went to your landing page. Now again, this is like chance to sell these 10 people, develop some relationship. And we'll talk about direct response after the lunch break, but at this point, you got to pull out all the stops to convert these customers. You got to put the cheerleaders on. You got to do everything to get these guys to engage with you somehow, okay? So say that you got 1 CPM, 1% click-through rate, you got a chance to market to 10 people, okay? And now what you want to know is, how can I develop a relationship with these people? Either I'm going to sell them something, or I'm going to collect data from them. So a big thing is an email capture. So I think we spoke about, where was the woman? Right over there. Okay, cool. So her idea, which I think was awesome, it's great, is she wants to have high-impact video with an email collect. Okay, so landing page is going to be high-impact video with an email collect box, because she wants to develop a relationship with them right away. Okay, and maybe on page 2, she's going to sell them something, but out of the gate, she wants to build a relationship, and she might give away a free report. Okay. And this is some of the direct marketing techniques that we'll talk about, but adding a lot of value on this page to get people to offer up an email address. So what we know now is, say that she offers up massive value and free report, and this video is great, and people are loving it, and so she might get 30% VTU, okay? It's visitor to user, okay? So now we know that she has 3 people, okay, that have opted into the report. Now she has a much deeper relationship. She has that user now, I call it. And you can call it whatever you want, basically, it doesn't matter, but the idea is you've developed a relationship with these visitors. Okay? Now, we were talking about doing some buying on Facebook. So, say that as an example, those clicks, so say that it wasn't impression-based, but we were on Facebook, we did a click deal, right? So those 10 clicks, or those 10 people, say that that cost her 30 cents a click, okay? We're just going to make this up as we go along. So those 10 people cost her $3, okay? for those 10 clicks if I did my math right. Now she has the chance. She has the chance to sell 10 people, but 3 people have told her, "Yep, I'm down with this. Let's go." And like, say for example that she was able to sell, I don't know, 1 out of 5 users. Okay, her product. They got to this page and it was like 20%. Okay, so she was able to get 0.6 of a user. Now, this is a poor example, but you get the idea. I hope that if you had 3 people. Say that your conversion rate off of this page was 20%, you're left with almost like a little bit over half of a user. Now, if she knew the value of that sale to her was, for example, $10, okay, you would really just do 10 times 0.6, $10, sorry, times 0.6. The value of that inventory would now be worth $6 to her, okay? So that's how to turn $3 into $6, okay? That's how you develop a profitable relationship, is you do the math and you figure out each of these different variables. And we'll go into it a little bit deeper. But you want to isolate these variables and say, I know what it's costing me to buy. I know how many people registered for my site. I know how many people signed up. And I know how many people bought. Okay? And you have this all in Google Docs or Excel, and it's all lined up. So now that you've developed a profitable relationship, okay, hey, I turned $3 into $6. And now, I mean, it might make more sense if it was like 1,000 clicks, right? It might be $300, okay? And if it was 1,000 clicks, you would get 300 potential buyers, and 300 potential buyers times 20% would be 60 buyers, and those buyers might be worth, what did I say, $10 to her. So that's 300 into 600. I mean, so that's the idea. Now you have a different problem altogether, but now this is a high quality problem, okay? Problem number 1 you're going to have is you'll probably lose a little money to start because, but this takes you a while to get to, okay? Being honest. Problem 2, now you're making money, okay? That's a whole different quality problem. Now her problem is, how do I scale that, okay? It's great to make $3, but you want to make $3,000 a day. So now her problem is going to be, how do I scale this campaign within Facebook? How do I create hundreds of ads? So say that I know who I'm targeting. It's a woman who buys my product. She's this age. She lives in this area. Then you want to basically say, how can I expand that out? Then maybe you want to do it in the US. Maybe you want to do it elsewhere. So now she has a high quality problem, which is, how do I scale that into a big, big campaign? Anyway, I tend to go in these little verticals, but nonetheless, VTU, visitor to user, is an indication of all the people that have come to your website, whether or not you've engaged them into a user relationship, okay? Conversion rate. Conversion rate is tricky on a couple of fronts, but basically, and that's why I call it, it's an interchangeable measurement. The conversion rate is the percentage of time you sell somebody something. That's your conversion rate. So